the man who has done a 109-day fast. 109 days not eating anything, and he's still here to tell the tale. So Andy, I want to ask you in this video, why in your right mind did you do a 109-day fast? Have you gone mad? What's happening here? What caused you to do that?
I was at a time in my life where I was seeking a lot of answers to a lot of questions I had about my own physical state of health. You know, I had some ongoing issues. I was very depressed, full of anxiety, on a lot of pharmaceutical drugs, all of which I always hated taking drugs from as early as I can remember. And I had like some severe back pain, muscular sort of pain. I had Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis. I always had like acne, you know, skin issues, stuff like that. And I was just so miserable and depressed, and I was asking all the professional experts in all the different areas of medicine, and doctors and specialists and physiotherapists, and no one could really give me any clear answers. And the turning point was when I had my sort of, you know, yearly checkup with the gastroenterologist to talk about my bowels and the Crohn's disease issues that I had. And he wanted to put me on this medication, this new medication, because I hadn't been taking any meds for a while, and he was giving me all the, you know, all the fear mongering, saying if you don't do this, you're at this age now where there's a high risk that we might have to, you know, cut sections of your bowels out or something like that. And
so what age was this when this started?
I'd say probably like early 30s, maybe I was like 32 or something like that.
Okay. And how old are you now, just for the audience?
Yeah, I'll be 38 this year. So it was about 2016 or something like that. So okay. I can't do the math right now, but anyway, so he basically saying you got to take this immunosuppressing drug for the rest of your life to manage the symptoms of this Crohn's disease. Right. And I said, okay, so what's, you know, he said there are some side effects, and he started rattling off the side effects, and it was like your immune system's always going to be down, because we think that the reason you have this disease is that your immune system is attacking itself, so we have to like suppress the immune system. That's how the drugs work, to minimise the symptoms, and that never made sense to me anyway. And some of the side effects were like, you know, you're going to be constantly sick all the time. There's a chance you could have like leukemia and like some of these gnarly things. Wow. And I said to him, well, how is that any better than, you know, just take a punt and keep going as I am?
So can you explain a bit more what Crohn's disease is and how it was affecting you? What were you feeling from that?
It's an inflammatory bowel disease where the bowels are just in a constant state of inflammation. And Crohn's disease, I think, is mainly focused on the colon or the large intestine. And what I basically had symptom-wise was lots of ulcers and you know, big open ulcers in my bowels, and I've had, you know, blood in my stool a lot of the times, and discomfort down there a lot of the time. But also I think you know, a lot of your you know, your state of mind is initiated in the bowels as well, and like fasting helped me draw that connection between the gut and the brain and that sort of thing. And I think like the depression that I was experiencing at the time was also related to that physical state of the inside of my body. And
so you were feeling depressed at the same time as you had Crohn's disease?
I think like depression was like another manifestation of the physical imbalance in my bowels.
Yeah. If you've got blood in your stools, you know, that's a pretty reason to be depressed.
Yeah. And I mean, I, as well as eating a pretty average diet, you know, my whole life, I think a big part of having that Crohn's disease was taking some pretty gnarly pharmaceutical drugs. Like one of them was Roaccutane, which I took because I had the skin issues with acne, and I was very self-conscious about my appearance and all through my teenage years and all that. So I took this, you know, wonder drug, and fair enough, it cleared up my skin, and then within sort of 3 months or something, I had this diagnosis of Crohn's disease.
Oh, right.
And then later on, I didn't even look at the insert, but later on I saw on the packaging that like, one of the side effects is Crohn's disease.
Oh, wow.
And depression and suicide and all the rest.
Oh.
So I think that drug did mess me up a lot. So that's where it all started. And I said to that gastroenterologist, look, I need some time to think about this. I'm not going to decide whether or not to go on this drug right now. So I said, you know, give me some time. I'll come back in a couple of weeks. I'd like to explore other avenues of getting better, and, you know, potentially, dare I say, natural ways of healing. And he kind of just, you know, he kind of scoffed at me and just, he said to me, look, this disease, there's 3 things that we know about it. And he's like, the first thing is we don't know what causes it. And he said, secondly, there's no cure. You just have to accept that you've got to medicate yourself for the rest of your life.
Wow.
And number 3, there is nothing, don't worry about going changing your diet and all this stuff, because there's nothing that you could eat or drink that's going to change the symptoms inside you.
That's what he actually said.
And this guy is supposed to be a specialist of the gastrointestinal tract, the thing that connects your mouth to your anus. You know, he's telling me that nothing that I put inside that thing is going to affect the way it operates and functions. So that just didn't make sense to me at all. And then I just just jumped on the internet, because I was off work at the time. I sort of had some, you know, mental breakdowns at work from the depression and all that, and I took like 8 months off work.
Wow.
And I just went deep dive onto the internet.
What were you doing for work before that?
I was a professional civil engineer, so managing civil construction projects.
Yeah.
And I just reached a point where I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't go on in that environment.
Right. Yeah, it's like with the Hippocratic oath of do no harm. It's a hypocritic oath.
Exactly.
You know, like Hippocrates is hypocrisy.
Yeah.
The oath has become to cause harm now, not cause no harm.
Yeah, I mean, these doctors and everything, they have good intentions, they want to help people, but they're just misled, that's all it is, you know. They work for the pharmaceutical companies, their whole education is provided by the businesses that they make profits for, you know.
And all they do is just prescribe medication with the common side effects of pain, suffering and death, and that's never been a side effect that's caused them to be dissuaded. You know, like if someone dies as a result of their treatment, well then they go, oh well, they probably got a lot of relief then, didn't they? You know?
Yeah, it's definitely a dead end street though. So I got in, I just found fasting, and I kind of just went from like a pretty standard.
And so you had 8 months off from work, and then in that period you found fasting?
I found fasting through research, and I just dived straight into the first protocol I followed was the Master Fast protocol, which is pasteurized grape juice with a little bit of fresh lemon juice, and using herbs as well as daily enemas, and daily and weekly and monthly dry fasting schedule as well.
Weekly dry fasting?
Yeah, so you would do the liquid fast all week, and then at the end of the week you would try to do at least 24 hours to 48 hours dry fast. That was the protocol. And each day you would have a dry fast window of sort of minimum 12 to 18 hours or whatever you felt comfortable with.
Right, so dry fasting a dry fast is when you don't have any liquids?
Yeah, dry fast is nothing.
Nothing at all.
By mouth, you know, and even a hard dry fast is to not let water touch the skin as well.
Right.
Which is difficult if you're in a very humid environment, but the more dry you can remain, that's where the greatest benefits of that type of fasting will happen.
Okay.
So my first fast, I didn't go for the full 108 days. I did a couple of shorter fasts. The first one was like 40 days.
Right.
And straight away, for the first time in my whole life, I could like straight away feel the power that I had to heal my own body through nothing else but just reducing the amount of stuff that I was consuming, pretty much, you know. And I started seeing the things that were coming out of me. You know, all of a sudden my body was just dumping all this garbage, parasites and worms and all sorts of gnarly stuff.
The mucoid plaque.
Yeah, mucoid plaque would always come out after a dry fast. I'd always get a good dump of mucoid plaque. And
so what's mucoid plaque?
Mucoid plaque, from what I understand, is like the really old, hardened mucus that comes out of your body and gets dumped into the bowels for elimination. And it's old, it stinks, it carries all your past beliefs and emotions, not just physical things, I believe.
Wow, that's
because
interesting.
I could easily correlate, as I'm dumping physical waste and my body's cleaning out physical waste, there's also old beliefs that were coming to the surface to be let go of as well. Emotional things would move through me as well. Old injuries would surface. When I was 80 days into the long fast, I remember like this injury in my right foot or my right ankle that I hadn't felt for years. When I was playing soccer as a young boy, it never healed properly, and then it finally had a chance to heal during that long fast, and the pain came back again, and then shortly, a few days after, it was sort of just gone, and I never felt that again.
That's fascinating.
A scar?
Scar?
Yep, everyone's got scars. Everyone's got a scar.
Yeah, I noticed that. Well, on the side of your stomach, like hip area.
Bike crash I had when I crashed my bike. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The handlebars went through my side.
Oh, yeah, wow. So you did the 40-day fast?
Yeah, I did a 40-day, and then
you're getting mucoid plaque coming out.
And then I was like, wow, this is it. I finally found some answers for once in my whole life, and it's not complex like the doctors want you to believe. It's really simple. You just give your body the chance to do what it's always wanted to do, which is to heal itself. Our bodies are an intelligently designed system that can self-heal, and anything can regenerate if you give it the chance. It might take a lot of hard work, but you can definitely do it. And I did a 40-day, and then I had a short break, and then I did another 30-day, and then after that I just started experimenting with all these different things, and I did a 60-day raw juice fast with not many herb, just a little bit of herb supplements. But and then I went back to the Master Fast protocol because I felt like that was the most effective protocol, and that's when I decided to commit to the 108 days, which was the kind of the benchmark thing to try and go for at the time in that system. And I did 109 days, and then I went back to eating after that, but certainly not eating the same foods because the body's just been through this huge cleaning, this phase of cleaning, and you become sensitive to a lot of those heavier foods that you used to consume. And so there's a period of transitioning, firstly through juices and fruits and really juicy fruits, and before you can get back onto those denser foods and cooked foods and that.
So on your fast, what were you having? Water?
Just pasteurized grape juice. So
why was the grape juice pasteurized?
Well,
and why were you having grape juice?
Because in the Master Fast protocol, the grape juice is used because it's basically, so when you're fasting, your body is dumping all the waste to be eliminated, and you use the liquid. The liquid is not giving you any nutrients or energy. It's literally to be used as a solvent. So it's basically washing down all the stuff that's getting stirred up and dumped in the bowels, and it's taking that stuff it's binding it and taking it out of the body. And the pasteurized Concord grape juice is, in the people that created that system, in their experience, and in my experience, it's been the most effective solvent. So that's what they advise to use when you follow that protocol. And I had already experienced with the raw juices, they didn't have the same effect of pulling stuff out of the body, pulling obstructions out of the body.
Nice. What are your views on water, just drinking water? Just in general now, day to day?
Yep. Honestly, I don't, after going through that phase of detox, I don't really drink a lot of water. I don't ever get thirsty unless I, consume things like, lots of, if I start eating lots of cooked foods and even, if I have a drink of alcohol here and there, I'll get, I'll feel dehydrated in that sense. But to me, I like to keep, I feel my kidneys work better to eliminate waste when I'm not smothering them with lots of water. So I don't really drink a lot of water. If I eat foods, typically it'll be like fruit during the day and maybe a cooked meal in the evening, and the fruits hydrate me better than just drinking water in isolation. But I think
the boat's not here, Rosie.
I think there's a lot of
Southport.
This whole thing about carrying around a bottle and drinking so much water every day, which is what's recommended in the mainstream. I think
mainstream.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? They want you to drink
program, and it's not actually like it's the constant state of inflammation in the average person that makes them desire water to put out that fire of inflammation. So they're so dehydrated from all the stuff that we're consuming that we need that water to feel like we're hydrating. But to me, in my experience, water doesn't really hydrate you in the same way that fasting does, and dry fasting especially hydrates the body the most, even though it sounds.
Yeah, how does that work? How's your body getting hydrated if it's not having water going in?
The reason that the body is dehydrated is there's so much filth swimming around every cell in the body. There's so much obstructions in the body that the body cannot properly hydrate itself. And once you remove those obstructions, the body can actually do its job properly and hydrate itself at the cellular level. And that's what freeing dry fasting is the top of the level in terms of healing protocols, self-healing protocols. So you're going to move a lot of stuff really quickly, and that's why you need to sort of train your body to get to that stage. I wouldn't advise anyone to jump straight into a dry fast, from a very, very heavy diet, very dense diet. You've got to work up to these things, transition from eating lighter foods and then get into liquid fasting and then try dry fasting after that.
So how were your energy levels when you were doing this 109-day fast? Were you getting hungry? Were you getting tired? How did you feel? Did you need to sleep more? What happened to your body?
My body felt fantastic. On the surface, I looked quite, I lost a lot of weight. The body, before it can rebuild itself, it has to strip back all the garbage that it was built on, So I got really thin and I lost a lot of weight, but inside I felt great. I had so much energy. My mind was so crisp and clear. My skin was like a baby's, my skin just became so soft and just amazing. It was all clear, and my thoughts, everything, I could just effortlessly drop into meditation. It really opens you up that way. So energy levels were fantastic. I never, after about a couple of weeks, I didn't desire any food at all. So there was no desire to consume anything.
So your energy levels were better when you were not eating compared to when you normally eat food?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then that started to change the whole belief system about why are we eating food? If I can feel this great with nothing in my stomach for many, many days, and remembering when you'd eat a meal on Christmas Day and you'd have to go and sleep afterwards, well, what's this food doing? Is it giving me energy or is it taking energy away? These are the questions that started arising. And it's changed my whole relationship with food these days. And in terms of the sleep, I could get away with maybe 4 or 5 hours a night.
So you were sleeping less?
I was sleeping less. I would have vivid dreams, really clear, amazing dreams, and wake up feeling you just jump straight out of bed. Some days I couldn't jump out of bed because I had to take it slower, on some days because your body goes through changes, and when the adrenal glands go through healing, your blood pressure can drop and these sort of things. And a couple of times I did get up too fast and then I hit the deck, I passed out a couple of times when I was deep into the longer fast and probably on a dry fast at the time.
Right.
But that's where the herbs can really help when you take the herbal tinctures during that protocol to support the body.
And so are you eating again?
Yeah, I'm back. That was one of the things that I had to come to terms with is it's great to use fasting as a tool for cleansing every now and then and healing, but I do have to exist in this 3D world where food is all around and it is a part of all social interactions, and I have a family that's not at the same level of experience in terms of fasting that I have and all that sort of thing. So I want to exist in this world and still experience what the world has to offer, and I enjoy food, and I'm not prepared to give that up just yet and become a breatharian. Not just yet, but
not just yet.
Not saying that might change in the future, but whenever, it's not like I get sick anymore. So I was going to say, whenever there's an opportunity and I feel like I'm out of balance, I can always go back to fasting. But it doesn't take much these days. My body has become so much more efficient in the way it functions that everything just works so much. It's like a finely tuned machine now, and I'm much more in tune with the way that my body speaks to me when I am out of balance, and then I can know, okay, I need to, slow down a bit, or, stop consuming as much and just take it easy, do a little short fast here or there, or just focus on fruits for a week or something like that.